am Dr. Asegun Henry. I'm a husband and father. I went to FAMU for undergrad, went to MIT for my master's and PhD. I am now a Georgia Tech professor in mechanical engineering. I've also worked in a federal government agency. My platform really consists of addressing three main issues. Number one, I have a public safety plan that was developed in collaboration with the police. Number two, I have a very innovative economic development plan. And number three, I have a plan for ensuring that our government is transparent to the people, incorporates participation from the people, and also holds the city council and elected officials accountable to the people as well. So one key component of that is an electronic polling system. So if you go to my website and you sign up after the election, you get an email or a text that will guide you to a site where you can sign up and fill out a profile. A profile is going to allow you to check off what kinds of topics you are interested in staying abreast of and also helping to make decisions on. So for example, if you check off public safety, when City Council is going to have a meeting, if they're going to talk about a proposal related to public safety, you're going to get an email or text in advance letting you know about it. That email or text is going to include a short summary, 3 to 5 sentences. It's also going to include the pros and the cons, arguments in favor and against, and it will also allow you to vote directly right there in favor or against. The idea is that those results are going to display on my website, and I will always vote in accordance with what the community thought is. Thank you.
Primary elements of your comprehensive plan to address public safety. Does it include hiring more police officers? Why or why not? And what is the estimated cost of your plan to taxpayers in our city? And I will ask you to be specific. I'm giving you 2 minutes, everyone, to go on record and answer that question.
My public safety plan involves 4 main components. Total cost would be about $2.2 million. Most people are focused on trying to add more officers. I am in line with that. I would like to add more officers, but I think we have to do that over time as we grow our budget, hopefully through some economic development initiatives. I don't think we can afford 20 to 50 new officers on day one. Instead, my plan is focused on trying to increase the efficiency of the officers that we do have. If you talk to police, they spend anywhere from 10 to 50% of their time doing reporting. And so what I would like to do is I have an idea for a new reporting system that will cut the time that they spend on reporting by 90%. This will effectively increase the police presence we have by almost a factor of 2 for only $250,000. The second issue is that police spend way too much time driving people they arrest down to the Atlanta jail system. So one thing I would like to do is negotiate a deal with Union City Jail so we can actually take our prisoners down there, which is a much shorter commute, and put the officers on the street more often. In addition to that, second program is that I would like to institute a program for juveniles. The total cost would be about $500K. Basically involves mandatory participation in the mentoring program, mandatory community service like trash cleanup, and a variety of youth programs that all the kids will get a chance to participate in, not just the juveniles. Main budget items there are going to be the space and the transportation to get the kids to and from these programs, and also a couple of permanent staff. In addition to that, I would like to also, over time, look at trying to increase the salaries of our police officers so we can retain the best. And the fourth component is to try and end the sex trafficking and the drugs on Old National and Fulton Industrial Boulevard. This cost will be about $1.5 million, but it's not a recurring $1.5 million. It's a one-time investment. 1 year, we spend in 6 months to a year, recruit enough officers to come work on a short-term basis to stamp out the crime in those areas, working directly in collaboration with some federal agencies like the FBI and DEA.
Thank you. Thank you. What approach do you advocate for economic development, including how to both retain current businesses and attract new businesses, the types of industries and businesses we should look to attract, and how to bring good paying jobs to the city of South Fulton?
Thank you. So I've started working with some local economic development experts to try and formulate a plan. One of the most important things, though, I want to do is get more input and more feedback from the community itself. This is why that electronic polling system is so important. The key to me when it comes to economic development is to look at trying to grow our budget through more sales tax. That's the biggest source of revenue for the city. And that's going to allow us to do more community improvement projects and more youth programs. One idea I have is to try and work with a developer to get a high-quality indoor shopping mall in our city. If you think about Atlanta, south of I-20, there's really no mall other than Greenbrier. I think most people prefer to drive either out to Douglasville or go to the north side of town. So I think we should have our own mall. It's going to drive and pull the customer base from the entire South Atlanta region. That's going to bring a lot of sales tax to our budget, allow us to do things in our own city that we care about. In addition to that, I really want to hear what kinds of desires and things people want to have. I want to get more input. People have mentioned they'd like to have more recreational activities for kids. So, for example, imagine you're going to get an email that's going to ask you, when we get a mall, name all the stores that you wish were inside that mall. You can tell me what kinds of recreational activities you want for your kids. Do you want to have go-karts, skating rinks, golf, or whatever it is? You let me know, and that way I can use that data to then go pitch it to the companies and recruit them to be a part of the project. In this sense, that polling system is going to be really critical. So again, as far as the types of businesses we want to attract, I would like to leverage our proximity to the airport. So I think we need to focus on businesses that do a lot of e-commerce and ship a lot of products. And in this way, they can look at trying to bring their headquarters or a main office to this area so that they can have executives in a close vicinity to their distribution centers. In this way, I think we can bring not only blue collar, but also white collar jobs and keep the community thriving.
Thank you, Rashad. Everybody all right? Let me just give you a preview. It is now 10 minutes after 2. So we're going to try to get through another round of questions if we can. Around about 2:30, 2:35, we're going to need to collect your index cards. I've seen some of you jotting down questions because we're going to reserve the last 30 minutes or so because we want to hear your questions. And so I just wanted to kind of give you the roadmap of where we're going so we can get everybody out of here so you can get back to running errands on Saturday afternoon, all right? Real quickly, before we ask the next question, a couple of things I just want you to be aware of. I was chatting with one of our mayoral candidates this morning in a separate conversation, and what that candidate said to me is something I agree with. He said, I really wish that citizens would focus as much on their city council race as on the mayor's race. They're both important, don't get me wrong. But if you look at the charter for our city of South Fulton, your decisions are made by your city council. And sometimes what happens is we get overly focused. This ain't Atlanta. The mayor's office works differently in the city of South Fulton than it does in Atlanta. What happens in your city, in my city, is going to be determined by the people you elect to the city council. Because without a majority of city council votes, nothing gets passed, nothing gets enacted. So I offer that to you just to say, pay attention to these answers. Because who you put in these seats really matters. Okay? All right. With that, candidates. The city of South Fulton has many diverse neighborhoods and communities, each with its own look and feel. Cliftondale has a very specific feel. Sandtown's different. Cedar Grove has its own feel. Each community has its own look and feel. What is your position on how planning and zoning should be handled to both encourage new development while simultaneously preserving and protecting existing communities? What changes, if any, would you recommend to the current zoning ordinance that governs development standards in our communities? Mr. Williams,
I think zoning is definitely something we should revisit in terms of making changes, but I think it needs to be done in the context of our overall economic development strategy. So I think that this is something that we're going to have to consult with some experts and also integrate that with the opinions within the community to develop not only a 5 and 10-year plan, but a 20 and 50-year plan. So what I'm thinking is something akin to like the Atlanta Beltline project, where we have a clear vision for what our city is going to look like in the future. That may involve some rezoning and some moving of some boundaries for that purpose. But from that standpoint, I think it's important to preserve the neighborhoods that we have. It's important that the community involved in those discussions. So one of the main things I want to do is, in addition to this polling system I keep referencing, we're also going to be having monthly town hall meetings, in addition to more meetings more often if necessary, so that the community has every opportunity possible to make your voice and your opinion clear, so that anyone who is involved in the planning, so we'll have subcommittees of actual community members who can lead the actual proposal of new plans and new development. So we will be very clear on where the new development is going to happen, why we like it to be here, how it is going to influence traffic, and where all the other resources are going to go relative to that. So that's my vision for zoning, is to really rethink it in the context of a more holistic plan that incorporates our economic development ideals and pushes us forward to where we want to go.
For the last 10 years, The citizens of our new city have paid for all of their own municipal services, primarily through property taxes, police, fire, parks and recreation, planning and zoning. In fiscal year 2016, according to the Fulton County government website, the budget for the South Fulton Service District, which is what will become a new city, was $55,129,652. Now that we are becoming a new city, current estimates indicate that an additional $20 million or more could be available to the new city of South Fulton through its portion of local options sales tax. Do you anticipate, as a city council person, tax increases or reductions in the first 3 years of the city of South Fulton? If so, why or why not? And please be specific. Dr. Henry, we'll start with you.
Great. I do not anticipate any tax increases. I do anticipate that by having this local control and this ability to develop our own locally based economic development plan, we can grow this portion of the local sales tax that we're talking about. This is why I mentioned this idea of bringing an indoor shopping mall to this area, because shopping malls generate millions of dollars in revenue a year, and so that could calculated roughly about $2 million in sales tax that we'd be able to get from indoor shopping mall on average size. I'm looking to do something more innovative, but the point is that I want to grow the sales tax base so that we can bring in more money so we can do more community improvement projects and more programs for the youth. So I think the key, I agree, is that we need to grow this tax base, and hopefully, I don't think it'll be within the first 3 years, but in the long term, in the 5 to 10 year time frame, if we're successful in these economic development strategies, we can actually look to try and lower taxes so that the companies and the businesses that are coming here that are, and the money that's being spent on products can actually help to support our community more so than the dollars straight out of your pocket.
All right, for this section, I'm throwing it out there. If you guys want to answer it, great. If not, it's understandable. There are some questions directed to you specifically, so I will address you as the questions are written from the audience. This is a general question. Will you pledge to clean up your campaign signs from the public right away once the election is over?
I not only will clean up my signs, I'll pick up my opponent's signs.
Nobody else needs to answer then.
I also pledge to clean up my own signs and everybody else's signs.
Absolutely. No question.
Yes, I will.
But that was one of the first things that I thought about before I ran, how to clean up all my signs after the election was over. So yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Of course I'm gonna say yes, but my thing is I ain't got but 10 signs out there, so.
That's all
I got you.
All right, so this is actually directed toward Dr. Henry. This is as it's written, saying you will survey the residents and vote their choice. However, you will have to vote for the betterment of the city as a whole. Can you do that in spite of their desires?
Absolutely. The reason I say that is because my district represents only one portion, and therefore my vote only represents one portion. I'll also be collecting polling data for the other districts as well, and this is the way I would like to ultimately launch this system so that the entire city uses it. So initially, I can guarantee for our own district, I will collect the polling data, and I will use that polling data to cast the votes associated with this district. However, in addition to that, I'm also going to be collecting the polling data for other districts. So when we come to these city council meetings, I'm going to let the other district councils know, this is what your people are saying, and is it inconsistent with what it is you're saying or you're planning to vote today? So I'm going to use this system to make sure, so I have quantitative data to show what the people want, and so I have a clear record that I am consistent with what everybody wants.
Thank you. This is another general question. How can you ensure we have a full-scale recycle/reuse program in the first year of the city?
My approach for an issue like this is really to about setting up like a subcommittee. So whoever asked that question, you're the kind of person that I would look to love to have lead a subcommittee like that, where the citizens themselves get involved and create our own solutions. Because the issue here is not a question of do we want to have recycling and do we want to do it. It's the question is how. The question is the money and can we afford it and how do we actually get there. I can probably say, you know, as far as coming to preserving the environment, I am a huge proponent of that. My entire career is dedicated to mitigating climate change, so I work on environmental preservation. That's key for me, but the question is how. And so when it comes to the various city services that we're going to have to transition, this is one of those ones that we're going to have to look very carefully at how to do it cost effectively. And so I would love to set up a subcommittee and get direct input from the community on what the ideas are for what's the best way to get there.
The general question, and this is how it's worded: what is your plan to save our failing schools in South Fulton? Personally, I do not like to label schools as failing. Schools are a reflection of the socioeconomic patterns around it. So, allow me to reword. Give me a second, madam. I'm gonna go this side, I'll come back over here. All right, so allow me to reword it as like, what are your plans to address some of those patterns that exist that would contribute to a lower academically performing institution? And
Sure. This is a subject that is dear to my heart because I am a professor and I come from a family of professors. Both my parents were professors, and my father was a middle school teacher, recently retired. So when it comes to education, I do have the background and I understand what the issues are. I have actually already started talking to some of the schools in the area, so I've been talking to the assistant principal at Westlake. This is now coupled with the youth programming that I mentioned earlier for 500K. So I would like to develop a collaboration between some of the city services, city youth programs with the schools so that we're working together. Some of the schools would like to create basically like an after-school program where the kids can have a place to go, work on their homework, do their projects. I want to integrate that with the kinds of youth programs I want to create. Youth programs go beyond just sports. I'm talking about creating a chess league, debate team tournament, Black History tournament, all kinds of tournaments and leagues that kids would enjoy that are a little bit more intellectually stimulating than just sports. Thank you. I hope I have managed to convince some of you to vote for me. With me, you get substance, you get talent, you get skill. I have a strong record as an innovator, as a problem solver. These are the skills that I want to bring to this position. If you think about what a city council member actually does, a lot of it boils down to problem solving and actually thinking about what's the right way to get from point A to point B, the cost-effective way to get from point A to point B. If I have not managed to convince you, I ask that you please go to my website, drhenry.org. Please see more of what I'm about. I've tried to speak rather fast to pack in as much as I can in 2 minutes. But there's a whole lot more substance that I did not get a chance to talk about. I have very thorough plans that are worked out, ironed out, and I'm already starting these collaborations that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about theory, I'm talking about practice. So please give me a decent shot, and if you have not talked to me, you can talk to me, you can call me, 617-335-6599. I want to talk to you, I want to work with you. I'm ready to serve.
Let's give them all a round of applause.